All right, let's get started here. So we're going to start standing. Let the arms go nice and loose and just use your hips to let your arms kind of sway from side to side. Let the arms go really heavy, and as the arms twist, you'll notice a big stretch into your spine. All of the movement is coming from the hips. Hands go straight out in front of you. Then you're going to take your arm, you're going to bring it back behind you. Look behind where your hand is. Feel a nice big stretch. Come back to center. We're going to switch sides. Keep that arm still. You're going to keep twisting until you feel a nice big stretch. Come back to center. This time one arm is down. You're going to reach the other one up towards the ceiling. You're going to separate your rib cage from your hip bone, feeling a nice big stretch into the side of your body. Back to center, opposite side, reach up towards the ceiling and twist to the other side.
There you go, he's all yours. Eat him off. Seamless delivery. Come with me.
Come back to center. You're going to cross one leg in front of the other. The leg that's back, you're going to push that hip backwards, feeling a stretch into the side of your hip bone there. Come back up. We're going to stay on the same side. Go back into that stretch. We're going to do that 3 times. Every time going a little bit deeper into that stretch. Come back up. One more. Switching sides, we're going to do the same thing. Again, the leg that's behind is the leg that we're working. And you're kind of pushing it out on a 45-degree backwards. You're going to feel a stretch on the side of the hip there. Slowly come out of it. Again, we're going to do this 3 times, each time going a little bit deeper. And one more. So for this next one, it's good to have something to hold on to for balance. You're going to cross one leg over the other, and then your hands are going to crisscross as well. With your leg like this, I want you to sit down like you're sitting back into the chair. And again, it's okay if you have to hold on to something for balance, or just keep your arms twisted. Stand on up, reverse the arms, and then reverse the legs. Sitting back into that chair. Come on up. We're going to do our head now. So we're going to do giant circles with our head and neck. Bring your ear down to the side. Tuck your chin. Roll it all the way down to the center. And go to the opposite side. Reversing directions. And again. Now back to center. Now you're going to look over top of your shoulder, feeling a nice stretch into the neck. Switch sides, look over the other side. Repeat that once more. Change again. Now we got our neck. You're going to tuck your chin. Feeling a nice big stretch down the back of your neck. And then look up towards the ceiling, tilting your head back. Tuck your chin again. And up towards the ceiling. Next, your hands are on your shoulders. You're going to do 5 big circles backwards. 5 in the opposite direction. Next, your hands are by your ears. You're going to tuck so your elbows come together, and then bring them back, feeling a nice big stretch.
Well, the phone is I'm going to get teacher though.
I'm not against it, that's for sure.
So you're going to do a whole shoulder.
Now we're going to over-exaggerate this motion. So you're going to bring your arms in front of you. As you do that, you're going to hug, like giant rounding the shoulders. And then pull back and open up the spine. So you're going to round and pull back.
This has to be coming kind of
Once you've done that 5 times, we're gonna do circles at the elbow joint. So you're gonna do circles, 5 one way, 5 the other. Same thing with the wrist. So we're gonna use our rib cage now. So you're gonna side bend and create a circle at the rib, making sure that the hip is not getting involved. We're gonna go 4 one way, and 4 in the opposite direction. So now we're gonna do the same thing but at the hip. So now you're gonna do a hip circle. Once you've done 4, change directions. Again, if you need something for balance, great, you can hold on to that. If not, you're just gonna bring your leg out to the side, bring it out, and then you're gonna turn. We're gonna do 4 here. So bring it out to the side and turn. Changing legs, same thing. Knee up towards your chest, out to the side, and then you're gonna spin it down. Next, you're gonna stick one leg out in front of you, the other one is bent. It's like you're trying to take the dirt off of your shoe. So you're gonna sweep down and come up. We've got 5. 5 on the opposite side. Bring those toes up towards the ceiling, and then it's like you're sweeping dirt off. Next, you're going to go into a pretty wide stance here. You're going to bend one knee to feel a nice stretch into the adductors or into the groin. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. Again, we're trying to get the stretch in the inner part of the thigh, so you don't have to necessarily bend this knee too much. Even if I kind of push off to the side, I can still feel it. All right, switch sides. Now we're just going to go nice and smooth from side to side here, just bouncing from one side to the other. So you can stay here, or you can try to get a little bit lower. See if you can bend that knee. Maybe you can get yourself all the way down to the ground. All right, next your hands are going to be down into the center. Let your head go really heavy.
2 or 3 sets.
So your head's really heavy. You can say a couple yeses, couple no's. Next, you're going to walk your hands over to one side. Try to get your forehead to your kneecap. Come back to center. Go to the other side. Again, try to take your forehead down towards your kneecap. Hang back at center. You're going to hold on to your elbows. Go really heavy here. This time when we walk over to the side, we're going to open up our arm up towards the ceiling, feeling a nice big stretch into our back. Switching sides, same thing. Switch again. One more time. Come back to center. Let that head go heavy. Do a couple yeses, couple no's. Wiggle your feet into the center and slowly roll yourself back up. Next, we're going to go into the quad here. So again, if you want to hold on to something for balance, you can. You're going to bend so you grab onto your foot here. You should feel a nice stretch into your quad. squeeze your glutes, stand up nice and tall. Now you can stay here, or if you want an added challenge, you're gonna pivot forward. Try to kick that leg back. You can extend the arm.
My boss said,
Come back to that starting position. Squeeze the glutes here. Feel a nice big stretch into the quads. And switch sides. So grab onto your foot. Get those knees touching. You're going to stand up nice and tall. Squeeze the glutes. Now you can stay here, or if you need an added challenge, now you're going to start kicking backwards, reaching forward with that arm. Slowly return back, stand up nice and tall, knees together, squeeze your glute to feel a stretch into that quad. So from here we're going to go back to sweeping the dirt off our foot, so toes go up, hands go down. You're going to take that dirt and take it off your shoe, feeling a nice big stretch into your hamstring. Switching sides, doing the same thing, toes go up, and brush that dirt off. Next, you're going to have a wide stance here, and you're going from side to side. They could be mini bends. What we're looking for is a stretch into the adductors. If you want, you can go a little bit wider. So you can always stay shallow, or if you need more of a challenge, you can see you can get all the way down to the floor. Same thing, you can always just go from side to side. What we're looking for is that stretch into the adductor. You can take your time and go slow and just hold it, or you can go deeper. All right, you're gonna stay in this straddle position, hands go down to the floor now. Let that head go really heavy. Do a couple no's or yeses, whatever feels good in the neck, to fully let it relax. You're gonna walk your hands over towards one foot now. Try to get your forehead to touch your knee. Walk back to center. Now you're gonna hug onto the elbows. Go really heavy here into the center. Walk your hands over, bring your forehead to the other knee. Back to center. Same thing, do a couple yeses, couple no's. Get that heavy head. Get it to relax. From here, we're gonna walk over. You're gonna keep your opposite hand on that opposite shin. You're gonna reach up towards the ceiling, feeling a nice big stretch into your back. Again, if this isn't accessible and you're a little bit higher up, that's how that's gonna look, and that's totally cool. Come back to center. Just kind of sway your body from side to side before you go to the opposite side. Come back to center. Just sway your body, whatever feels good, just to loosen it up. Go back onto that windmill onto the opposite side. Back to center. You can either get the head to relax, get the back and hips, and open up for your last windmill to the opposite side now. Come back to center. You're going to wiggle your feet back to center. You're going to take your time with a slow roll up all the way up. Head should be the last thing to come up. We're going to go back into that quad stretch again, so you're going to grab onto your shoelaces. Your knees are going to be touching. Squeeze your glutes nice and tall towards the ceiling, feeling a stretch into the quad. You can stay here, or you can start hinging yourself forward and holding here as a challenge for 10 seconds. Come back to center. keep holding on to this pose, feeling a nice stretch into your quad. Switching legs, we're going to repeat that again. Have your knees touching, nice and tall posture here. Squeeze the glutes to feel that stretch into the quad. You can stay here if you want to challenge yourself. You're going to hinge yourself forward. Come back to center here. Squeeze those glutes, feel a nice stretch into the quad. And let that leg go. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to step the leg back. I want you to really tuck your pelvis under. As you do that, your hands are going to go up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel a nice stretch into your hip flexor. Hold. Come back down. We're going to change legs. Step the opposite leg back. Tuck your pelvis and reach to the ceiling. Come back up. Change sides. So we're going to do 3 in total per side. So that's 6 repetitions here. Switch sides again. Tuck under before you bring the arms up. One more time. Switch legs here. If you want a little bit of an added stretch, if you side bend towards the leg that's in front, you'll feel a little bit more of a pull. And switch legs. Again, if you want a little bit extra, you can side bend towards the knee that's in front. So for this next one, we're going to go into cat-cow. I'm going to show you 2 different options. If you don't want to go onto the floor, you can do a cat-cow into your chair. If you don't mind going onto the floor, you're going to be on your hands and knees. And we're going to do cat-cow from here, your options. So what we're going to do is you're going to tuck your chin down. You're going to round that spine either into the chair or up into the ceiling. Feel a nice stretch between the shoulder blades here. Now what you're going to do is allow your stomach to come down towards the floor. You're going to bring your chin up to look up towards the ceiling. In this case, what you're doing is you're bending back into the seat of the chair. We've got 3 of these. So you're going to tuck your chin down, really round your spine. And then reverse, look up towards the ceiling, feeling a nice big stretch here. One more, you're going to tuck that chin down. And then relax back up to the ceiling. So if you're on the floor, stay on the floor. You're going to walk your hands forward, but you can see my hip stays where my knees are. I'm going to bow down so my chest comes down, opening up the shoulders. You're going to hold here for a couple seconds. And then push down to round your spine. If you're sitting, I'll show you the seated option. So you're sitting here, your hands are out in front of your desk. You're going to push your chest through, and then you're going to round back up. So it's like a cat-cow again, except now we're getting more into the shoulder mobility. All right, so go ahead and press down. Get that chest to go down towards the floor, whether you're sitting or you're down on the ground. Now push your hands down. Engage your core, you're going to hollow out. So as you're hollowing out, I'm looking for this position here. You're really rounding the spine. And then relax down again. Allow that chest to fall down towards the ground. And then push it back up. So now if you're staying seated, you're going to cross one arm over here. You're going to really pull and feel this stretch into the lat. If you're on the ground, you're into more of a child's pose position. And I want you to walk your hand over to the side, feeling a nice big stretch into your lat. Walk your hands back to center, and now switch sides. Come back to center. If you're on the ground, you're now going to sit on your butt. You're going to cross one leg over the other. It's going to look like the number 4. You're going to bend your knee here and sit up nice and tall. If you're in a chair, you're going to cross one leg over the other like this. Sit up nice and tall and hinge yourself forward. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. You should be feeling a stretch into the glute here. If you need to come out of the pose and go back into it, that's totally cool. We got another 10 seconds here before we switch sides. Now be mindful, there should be no pain in the knee. If so, I want you to bring that leg further down onto the leg that's on the ground. All right, switch sides. We're going to do the same thing, whether you're on the floor or in a chair. You're crossing over nice and tall. Getting that stretch into the glute. We are going to go through those exercises again, so the second time you can always go a little bit deeper. The first time is just trying to relax into a pose. 5 seconds left. All right, everyone's going to stand back up. So the first exercise that we had here is stepping back and reaching up. Again, if you want that little bit of extra, you're going to be side bending away into that front knee, feeling a stretch here for 3, 2, 1. Switch sides, step that leg back, tuck that pelvis under, reach to the ceiling. If you want that little bit of extra, you're going to side bend a little bit towards the knee that's in front. Switch sides again, step back, really tuck that pelvis under, reach up to the ceiling. Feel a nice, good, strong pull, but not pain. Other side, tuck under. One more. And switch sides. So next up, if you're on your hands and your knees, we've got that slow cat-cow. I'm going to demonstrate it this time in the chair. So if you're going to do the angry cat, you're tucking your chin, you're going to push your spine into the back of the chair, feeling a nice big round. Sometimes I even hold on to my knees and really pull back, feeling a nice stretch into the shoulders. Then you're going to sit nice and tall, bring your belly button forward. You're going to look up towards the ceiling and then push yourself back into your chair. Again, you're going to take that stomach muscles, pinch it close. You're going to round forward. Come back up. This is the seated cow where you push your stomach forward, up towards the ceiling.
That's what I try to do with the gravitation.
One more, go to that angry cat again. And sit up nice and tall again, looking up towards the ceiling. All right, next you're going to grab onto your desk here. Your hands are out in front of you. You're letting that chest fall forward, and then you're pushing yourself to round your back. So relaxing and pushing. If you're down onto the ground, your hips are in line with your knees, your hands are out like this. You're pushing your chest towards the ground and then coming back out of it. So go ahead, work through a couple of these. This is going to really work that shoulder mobility. If you're feeling any shoulder pinching, you can always take your hands a little bit wider or bend the elbows a little bit. It'll take some less strain out of the shoulders. Couple more here. From here, if you're on the ground, you're sitting back into a child's pose. You're going to bring your arms over to one side, feeling a nice big stretch into the lat. If you're still sitting on your chair, all you're going to do is reach across with your arm. And then again, sit back, feeling a big stretch right here into that lat. Feels pretty good. You can even massage it while we're in this stretch. Switch sides, bring the arm across your body, sink into it. All right, next we got that glute stretch. So if you're still in your chair, you're going to cross one leg over the other. To make it easier, you just slide it down towards the edge of that kneecap. Or you can kind of straighten out that leg. Sit up nice and tall, hinge forward. Or if you're on the ground, you're going to cross one leg over the other. You're going to sit up nice and tall here. Scoot your butt pretty close to that other foot. And feel a nice stretch into your glute. We got 30 seconds here. Again, feel free to kind of wiggle and adjust, making sure you feel a good stretch with no pain. Got 10 seconds here and then we're gonna switch sides. Okay, other side. Another 5 seconds here. And then we're gonna really work into those hips for the last 5 minutes here. All right, relax that. So if you have really tight hips and you've got a stool, that's perfect. You can also use a chair for this. We're gonna go down into a really deep squat here, and I want you to be able to get your elbows in between your knees. If you've got the mobility and you're able to go all the way down into a squat, perfect. What you are going to do is you're going to push your knees in towards your elbows here. You're going to feel a nice big stretch into the back of your shoulder blades. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Next, I'm going to push my elbows out, put my hands into a prayer position here. You're going to feel more of a stretch into the inside of those hips. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. We got 2 more like that, so push the shoulder blades together. 2, 3. Push the legs apart. Push the legs together. 2. Push the legs apart. 2, 3. So if you're staying down low, what I want you to do is kind of widen the stance, and you're just going to wiggle from side to side here. So there's no good or bad, wrong way of doing this. You're just kind of moving around in a random position. If you've got tight hips and you're sitting onto a stool, I just want you to move those legs around. So maybe push the leg open a little bit. You can even bend the leg forward. This is just gonna open up and go into those hips into completely different positions. Again, you can have the stool for assistance here, or if you got the range of motion, you can move around without it. And it's just kind of exploring different ranges that you can go into. You can go high, you can go low. You'll find little tight spots that maybe you wanna hang out in. Now, if you're on the ground, we're gonna work now more into the ankles. So if you're sitting here onto the heels, try pushing the knees down and opening up the bottom of the feet. Now, if you're sitting down, you can do the same thing by going onto the heels and then leaning yourself forward. You'll actually put different range of motion into those ankle joints, just depending where you're at. So you can rock back and forth on your stool, or if you've got the ankle and toe flexibility, you can go from a seated position into pushing your knees down. And the last one we're gonna do for the ankles, you're gonna stand on up and you're gonna go out to the outside of your ankles, and then you're gonna push the knees in to go onto the inside, just back and forth.
A little bit.
If you don't trust rolling onto the outside, you can always just step and lightly put weight onto that foot. And then same thing on that inside as well. You can even try tucking your toes under and pushing it forward. Maybe you'll feel a nice stretch into the shin. All right, that is it for your Wednesday mobility class. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope your hips feel really good. All right, have a great day. Bye.